Hello Star Citizens, this is Gasketz, and I see a lot of people struggling out there in the Spectrum matches in Star Citizen, and I figured I'd put this video together to give people a hand. It's not as straightforward as I thought it should be to figure out how to properly equip your ship. Now take a look at what I got going on here. This is the Hornet F7C, and on each of its wings I've got two Bulldog repeaters. Default, this sucks. Like, it's not going to do anything for you. You're going to get out there, you're going to struggle even taking people's shields down. Yeah, but I'm sure you want to start getting into Spectrum matches and taking on other ships right away. So you're going to need a better loadout than this. First thing you're going to do is see if you can start renting gear. Check it out. Here is the RSI website. Top right hand corner, my RSI. You can see how much rec money you have. This is your rental money. And if you go into here and then go into your electronic access, you'll see all the different kinds of guns that you'll be able to rent. The ships are also on the list, and shields, all those kind of things. But I am here today for the guns, so let's talk about guns. Naturally, I think the first question would be, what gun is best? But I think that all depends on you. Personally, I think the Sledge 2 mass driver cannon is the best gun at the moment, and at a size 1, you could pretty much fit this on any ship. I know some people are crying on forums about this one, so I would recommend trying it out while it's still good before it gets nerfed, because I'm sure it will be. It is, in my opinion, overpowered. But this isn't always what's best. You might be going against the Vandal Swarm, which I think the laser weapon's a little bit better, because you really got to go the distance with those fights rather than PvP. It's pretty quick matches. First thing you have to ask yourself when choosing a loadout is, what kind of aiming do you like? Do you like gimbaled aiming, or do you like non-gimbaled aiming? Here I'm using the MA laser cannons, and they're all non-gimbaled right now. They will all be shooting straight forward, right towards those crosshairs, while I can move my mouse anywhere I'd like. This would be particularly good with a joystick, I think. I don't usually play with a joystick, but joysticks really don't take advantage of your loose crosshairs like a mouse does. Alright, next up is gimbaled aiming, and as you can see, all your shots will be hitting right towards where your mouse is aiming. I find it a lot easier way to track people, and I find it a lot easier way to hit people that are flying by 1,500 kilometers an hour. It's just my personal preference. Just the way to go. Now I'll show you which way not to go. Here I've got a setup where I have one gimbaled weapon and one non-gimbaled weapon. As you can see, the targets are coming off of the center point, and one's coming off of my mouse pointer, and it's generally going to be impossible to hit people consistently with both guns, and that's really what you want to be effective out there. Alright, let's take you back to the hangar. I figured I'd show you this place because this menu is about as awkward as a rabbi in a sex store, so I'll show you how to get this done. Gimbals. Let's start with gimbals. Put them in each one of these wings. Now your wings normally fit size 3, but we're putting size 3 gimbals in, and that allows us to put class 2 weapons in it, so we just have to find a class 2 weapon to throw in there. Now check this special piece of equipment out. If you don't have it already, I would definitely try to get it as quick as possible. You can put it on the front of the Hornet, and that allows you to put 2 class 1s on and acts like a gimbal. So you don't have to worry about putting a gimbal in there. There, and there we go. We have 2 class 2 turrets on the back, 2 class 1 turrets on the front, and they're all gimbaled and ready to shoot at my mouse cursor's directions. The front of these I've put these neutron cannons, and they definitely have a drawback, and I'll get into that in a second. But before I do that, I'll do a non-gimbaled setup. This will be for those joystick users out there. Just show you that it is possible. I don't really have the guns for it, but I'll give you a show. First off, take those gimbals out, right? You don't need those anymore. Find yourself a class 3 gun. Here I've found the broadsword. Seems like a decent gun. Put that in. I'm pretty sure I got another class 3 weapon in here somewhere. The mantis. We'll find that and put it right in here. Or I could head to the front of the ship, take this thing out, and just put a class 3 turret right in there, and this would all be class 3 non-gimbaled for those joystick lovers out there. But that's not it. There's one more thing you need to take into consideration before you go out into the battlefield, and that is your projectile speed. Now take a look at this loadout I got going on here. On my wings I've got the MA laser cannons, and on the front I've got the class 1 bulldog repeaters on my turrets. They're all ungimbaled weapons and they're all ready to go, but there's one little problem. They're slightly different projectile speeds, and you'll see how this affects my shooting in the field. First off, it would help if I actually target people, so let's do that. Freeze, there it is, zoom in. That is my aimer for my lasers, and that is my aimer for my bulldog repeaters. What that does is it disables your ability to focus your fire on fast-moving targets, or if you're tracking someone quickly, you're going to space out your aiming, and you're only going to be able to hit them with one cannon at a time. So we'll try to get your projectile speeds as close as possible so you can be a little bit more accurate. So that demands a question: which guns have the same projectile speeds? I figured it out, and I put them on a rating of 1 to 5. I know, you could thank me later. Let's get us started. Right here at the bottom of the list is the neutron gun. Yeah, the neutron gun. It has the most power, but it is definitely the slowest. So keep that in mind if you're trying to pair it up with any other guns. Next on the list is the tarantulas and the MA laser cannons. Yeah, they're both pretty good weapons. I paired them together and they work pretty good. But I prefer a little bit faster projectile speed myself. Right in the middle of the list is the Sawbuck and the Mantis, both machine guns. They do alright. I'm usually not using those machine guns though. Moving right along to 2 are the ones you start out with, the Bulldog repeater and the Badger repeaters. And the Panther repeaters. The Panthers are the class 3s. And also the longsword and the broadsword. I haven't put a lot of time in the longsword and the broadsword, but again, they seem pretty decent. Maybe a little bit better than the repeaters themselves. And at the top of the list, with the fastest projectile speed, the one I was talking about earlier, the Sledge 2 Mass Driver Cannon and the Omniskies. Omniskies 3 and 4. These two are the ones that I like to pair up together. The Sledges being good for PvP, the Omnisky being good for the Vandal Swarm. Easily my favorite laser cannon out there. But there you go, you get the idea. You stack a 4 and a 5 together and they'll be fairly close. If you stick a 1 and a 5 together, you're going to have some huge gap in your target. So I wouldn't recommend it. Alright then, we gotta move this along. This is starting to look like one of Chris Roberts' PowerPoint presentations. Alright, now it's time to apply what we've learned here. I'm going to take the Gladius out for a spin. The front of this thing here has got a Scorpion. I didn't touch base on this one here, but I would rate this on projectile speed about 4.5. The wings are not gimbaled default, so we're going to have to find a solution to that. Okay, the first things we're going to do is take off these M4A laser cannons and replace them with gimbals and put on class 1s. Now, which class 1s to use? I'm going to go with the Sledges. They are just slightly faster than this Scorpion that I have on the front of this, so there'll be a little bit of a gap, but it won't be too bad. Last but not least, I'm going to throw a different shield in. I got the Ink Mark 204, and it is only class 2, but we may as well upgrade that. Now everything here you'll be able to rent in the store. We're just going to load out some ammo and we'll be ready to go. Now, I'm usually not flying the Gladius. I am flying the Hornet usually because of its greater weapons capacity, but this thing here is fast. It goes top 240, whereas the Hornet goes top 200. That's nice. Now let's rip. I'll show you what this thing can do. Alright, here we go. Weapons online. Weapons are gimbaled and working properly. I think I'm ready to do this. Cue music and start the montage. Alright, I hope that helped you out. I ended up going 7-3 in that match. It was a good time, good fun. I'll see you another day.